It's so peaceful. All I can hear are birds and a slight rustle of the trees and the stream in the distance. I can't hear anything else. Feels really weird now going to talk to a camera. Okay, let's start. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of my Let's Talk series, where we find a nice peaceful spot in the English countryside to sit down and have a chat about a given topic. It is a beautiful spring day, but you will have to forgive the lighting because there are a few clouds in the sky and I am under a whole load of trees. I'm in like the woods, and so the lighting will keep changing as the sun shifts, but it is absolutely beautiful. I'm just sort of soaking it in and enjoying this moment of peace and quiet. If you are new to these videos, generally what I do is I post questions or statements throughout the video, and if you want to, you're more than welcome to answer the questions or comment on the statements, and it kind of opens up a little bit of a dialogue, and there goes the lighting, and we can have a little bit of a chat about the chosen topic. Today's topic is about the mistakes we've made on our journeys to becoming more minimal or leading more minimalistic lives. Now, for this one, I'm not going to post questions. I'm going to give 5 mistakes that I've personally made in my journey, and you are more than welcome to comment on those if they are relatable to you, and you are also more than welcome to share any mistakes you have made in your journey. And hopefully what this will do is it will open a dialogue. We can share experiences with people going through similar things, because let's face it, there are not going to be many of us that have gone through this journey and this process, which is not a very common journey to go through in today's society. There's a very slim chance we've done it without making some mistakes, learning as we go, or even having some regrets with the decisions we've made along the way. I think it can also be helpful for anyone who is starting out in this journey to read about the experiences of people who have been doing it for a little bit longer. I have picked 5 of the mistakes I've made on this journey out of many. These aren't the only 5, but I have picked 5 that I feel I dwell on a little bit more than any of the others, that still sort of come back to me, that I still have maybe regretful thought about, even now, even on my 5th year in this journey. And so I'm going to share, I guess, my top 5 mistakes, and as I said, feel free to comment along as we go. My first mistake, and perhaps the one that bothers me most of all even today, is that I didn't take advantage of the money I could have earned when I did my early declutters. When I started this process, I'd seen a lot of videos on YouTube, and that was kind of what encouraged me down this road. But that was about a 2-year process of thinking about it and working out if this was something I wanted, and over time more and more wanting to pursue a more minimalistic lifestyle. And then one day something just clicked and I was like, we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna give this a go, and I started decluttering so much stuff and so quickly. Now, I'm lucky in the sense that I can only think of 2 genuine things that I have regretted decluttering, letting go of too soon, sort of not giving it a chance. And those are just minor cases. Like, they are things that I am easily living without. It's just, there have been times where I'm like, oh, if I hadn't have decluttered that, I'd have it now. But other than that, I've never really had any regrets with what I've decluttered. But I decluttered so quickly, and I just wanted to get the stuff out of my space. I didn't take advantage of how I could generate a little bit of income from those items. I just wanted them gone. So don't get me wrong, that meant, you know, I made a lot of positive donations, quality items went to charity shops, and I let my friends and family have items if they wanted to. There are a lot of things I could recycle or even take to the household recycling centre, and they would be able to find another home for. And then admittedly, there were things that just ended up being thrown away. But all of those things were just the ways of getting the stuff out of my space, and that was all I was fixated on for a very long time, was having fewer things so my space felt less cluttered. But now looking back on that and having gone through the process where, you know, I sell clothes on Vinted, and I've done car boot sales, and I've sold bigger items on Marketplace, knowing I could have generated some money from those things to put towards either savings or other things that I am now passionate about and would like to spend money on, I just feel like there was such a loss there, such a waste there. So if you are in a hurry to declutter stuff and get it out of your space, do just put the brakes on a little bit. It's not so much about actually decluttering the items from your life and whether or not you'll regret decluttering them. It's more about what you can get back from what you declutter, so it doesn't feel as wasteful from a financial perspective. I think as well there is a little bit of, at the time I did those big declutters, my personal circumstances were very different and my financial circumstances were very different, so I wasn't in that headspace of thinking about ways to generate income outside necessarily of just my job. Whereas now I do have to think about money a little bit more and I have to be more careful about it, and I do think about ways in which I can generate additional income because my circumstances have changed. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit regretful about letting those things go without even thinking about how I could have got something back from that. Number 2 is getting caught up in the aesthetic. In those early days, all I wanted was that clean cut, minimal aesthetic, and do not get me wrong, I'm not putting it down in any way if it's anyone's chosen choice. I know some people love it, and at a time I loved it as well. It was definitely what I wanted, but I am so over it now. I can honestly say, and I never thought I would, I can honestly say I am so over cream and beige walls and white furniture with sharp edges and that like IKEA look. I'm done. I'm so over it, and I've left myself in a position now where I don't know where to go. I would love to start adding character to my space. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not want a cluttered space and I do not want lots of stuff, but I would just like it to have a little bit more than be that plain. But I don't know where to go with it. I don't know how to go from bright white, low quality, sharp edged IKEA furniture to something with a bit of character to it, no matter how many YouTube videos I watch about DIY upcycling IKEA furniture into something nicer. I don't know where to go with it, and I don't want to waste money trying. So I kind of feel like I've got this set up and I'm a little bit stuck with it. I'm very cautious of wasting money. I'm very aware that I could change my mind again. So if I do spend money trying to transform my house into something else, then what happens if a few years down the line I'm over that as well and I want to change it to something else? And I know that's what a lot of people do, like they keep changing and they make their space something they love. Wasp alert. And they keep changing and they make their space something that they love, but I'm very cautious of wasting money. I also have this idea in my head that what if this isn't my forever home? How much money do I want to spend on this if I'm not going to be there long term? So I kind of feel like I've got myself into this minimal aesthetic but not really left myself any wiggle room with how to transform it into something else. Not easily anyway. I just feel like I've given myself nothing to work with by going so hardcore clean cut minimalism at the start. My third mistake is giving myself a guilty mindset over spending, and that is from going so hard on myself in the you must not spend any money, you must not waste any money, you must save all your money, and you certainly mustn't bring things into your home that you have bought. And there has definitely been a mindset shift over the course of my 5-year journey where I'm now no longer feeling like I'm free to spend my own money as I see fit and as I want to, and I have to have a sit down and a conversation with myself, especially if something's a little bit more pricey, about whether or not I'm actually allowed to buy it. And I do have to remind myself almost every time I want to buy something that I work hard for my money, my bills are all paid, I prioritise my savings and they are all contributed to before I even consider spending anything else. What is left I am actually allowed to enjoy, and I think I get hooked on this idea of being minimalist means I'm not allowed to buy things and I'm not allowed to enjoy money. I feel like I'm doing much better in giving myself freedom now, but I always feel guilty about it, like I'm not doing a good enough job and I'm always worried that I'll slip back into bad habits, and I don't want to do that. And it has been quite a battle bringing myself to some sort of middle ground where it's not you're not allowed to buy anything, and it's not Charlotte 5 years ago who would have bought something without even a second thought, as well as many other things as well, trying to bring myself back to the middle where it is a carefully thought out purchase and it's something I can see myself using and see myself enjoying. And that's when I have to say to myself, okay, you are allowed this treat, this leftover money you've got, you are allowed to spend it on something you enjoy, no matter what that is and what it costs. If you can afford it and it's something you want, then you are allowed to spend your free bit of money on that item or items. And I feel like I'm getting there, and I think the mindset shift in the beginning was definitely a good thing, because Charlotte 5 years ago, she needed sorting out. But now I feel like I've trained myself into good habits, and I can trust myself that I can spend a bit of money and treat myself and it not snowball into something ridiculous like it was back then. I have to remind myself how far I've come from the person I used to be. Mistake number 4 was buying low cost alternatives. I'm a big believer now that some things can be done on a budget and some things just cannot. And often low cost equals low quality, and I'll give you an example that still haunts me to this very day. My neighbours have some gorgeous string lights in their garden. They were these big bulbs and they were bright and gorgeous, and they'd set them up around their outdoor sort of seating area. Stunning. And I was like, that's nice. I'd like to do that. And I've got a pergola in my garden with a much smaller seating area underneath, and I thought that'd be nice in the summer. This was probably about 3 years ago. Let's have some lights out there. Brilliant. And I found very similar, or the exact ones that they have online, and they were £250. And I was thinking, don't think I want to spend £250 on some lights for my garden. So of course I found a nice cheap alternative on Amazon for £30. And they were much smaller, much dimmer, and only lasted for about 6 months, and so they just didn't have that desired effect. And because they didn't have that desired effect, it didn't bring the same level of satisfaction. I may as well not have bothered. And so then that was £30 down the drain. And what I came to learn from that was, if I really, really, really wanted these big lights, if they were that important to me, I would save up and buy the expensive ones. If I'm not willing to do that, then it's probably not that important to me. And so sometimes cutting the cost and buying low cost and low quality is not better. Likewise, I learnt you can't build a capsule wardrobe with poor quality items, because I wear the majority of my items of clothing every single week, and so they are worn and washed over and over again. I need them to be able to stand the test of time and get through that amount of wear and last, because the whole point of a capsule wardrobe is you find outfits that work, that you want to keep wearing. I don't want to have to throw out my clothes after a few weeks or a few months because I've worn them out because they were poor quality. So in that instance, I've learned that having fewer items and saving up and shopping around until you find perfect high quality pieces for you and your wardrobe is better than rushing out and buying the first one that sort of is like what you want, but it's of poorer quality and isn't going to last. And my 5th mistake is an ongoing one, and it's slightly different to all the others because it's more about minimal and simple living, and that is forgetting to live a slow and simple life. If I really make a conscious effort, I can give that time back to myself to rest, relax, just have that peace. For example, when I go on my morning walks. But the majority of the time, I am not doing that consistently. I am at work, I am at the gym, I am doing hobbies, I'm filming videos, I'm exploring other side hustles, I'm trying to, cram in the odd social interaction, I'm doing my chores, and all those other things that come with life. But I just do not consistently look after myself and remember to live slowly, because I feel this pressure that I've always got to be using my time productively, that I'm always gaining something out of it, and that is something I know I need to work on, that I need to slow down, and I want to slow down. I want to give myself a bit of peace and tranquility, and yeah, I really don't. So that is an ongoing mistake for me, but I find it so hard to take a step back because I feel then like I'm wasting time. Again, it comes down to guilt. I end up feeling guilty if I've, given myself an evening off and rested. It's like, well, I could have used that time to make a video. I could have used that time to work towards one of my side hustles and actually done something that will be of benefit to me in the long run, rather than just resting and recuperating in the short term. And that is it. Those are my 5 minimal mistakes that I have made or continue to make on this journey. It has been lovely sitting out here and having a chat. It's been so peaceful. I haven't heard another soul whilst I've been out here. I can still hear the birds. It is lovely. In fact, this almost feels like time given back to myself, even though I'm filming a video, because it's just so nice and relaxing. And it's also a little bit strange talking to a camera again, because I think my last 3 videos have been voiceover ones, so actually sitting down and chatting to the camera, it's nice to do it. As I said at the start, you are more than welcome to comment on any of the points I've made, if they relate to you, if you agree, disagree, and of course add in any of your own points that you want to mention, and I will reply to you and other people will reply to you, and it's lovely to just see those dialogues taking place. If you haven't already, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out if people engage with it. If you're not already subscribed, you can do so by clicking this button here, and if you're sticking around to watch another video, I will pop one on the screen that I think you might enjoy. Until next time, take care. Bye.